All right, welcome everybody to the comic panel. I'm Cody.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawinta.
And for those of you who are listening for the first time, we are a bi-weekly radio show podcast comic book club covering any and everything regarding comics and manga. We have each co-host pick a book that follows a specific theme and review a book for every episode. Then we wrap up the theme with a retrospective episode covering our opinions and favorite moments from each of the books. This is the first book in our latest theme, Cults. Today we are reviewing 20th Century Boys, drawn and created by Naoki Urasawa. That name may be familiar to past listeners, as we've reviewed other notable manga from him, such as Monster and Pluto. The series is his sixth manga and was started in 1999 and ended in 2006. At 249 chapters, which was 22 volumes. And for this, we covered the first volume that was, what was that, about 10 or?
Yeah, it was 10 chapters
10
or
chapters?
so.
Okay, that's what I thought. What is 20th Century Boys about? It is a comic about a group of friends and their time as adults in a changing Japan, interspersed with scenes from their childhood in the 1970s. Little did they know that as kids, when they created a secret base to hide out and read manga, peruse inappropriate magazines, and just goof off with a radio, that they were planting the seeds for a terrifying future. The main character, Kenji Endo, is too caught up in taking care of his mother, his abandoned niece, Kanna, and their struggling convenience store. However, Kenji can't help but notice a familiar symbol popping up around the same place as mysterious disappearances. The friends from childhood he still keeps in touch with try to brush the weird coincidences aside, but when one friend jumps to his death and leaves behind an ominous message about the symbol, they're forced to take notice. Soon it becomes apparent that the symbol, a gloved hand with an eyeball behind it, has been co-opted by a potentially cultish group of people. Okay, so Shawinta, you chose this book and this theme. Why don't you tell us why you chose it?
I don't know. I just feel like cults are really relevant right now.
Mm.
And I've always wanted to read more Naoki Urasawa.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because you picked Monster and Pluto in the past before too, right?
Somehow this keeps happening.
Yeah. No.
It's almost like I really like his stuff.
Yeah, no.
I've never read this before, though. I always use this show as an excuse to read some more of his stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, and I think that, I do think that cults are pretty prescient, cult mentality, stuff like that. So, cool. So now, let's just get into our general feelings about this book, what we liked and disliked. I think that honestly, to get into like a little bit of like, since we've read a few of Urasawa's books, I feel like this really landed for me in a way that it's not that the other ones didn't, but it's like now that I have more background into their work, it's like, oh, okay, I see what the wells that you keep coming back to, and like it doesn't take me as long to process, if that makes sense.
Do you mean like as far as manga or just his specific style?
His specific style and writing also.
Yeah, there was a lot of I do think it's different than most of his stuff. He really does like to do the like in the past and then in the future kind of thing.
Yeah.
At least I remember a lot of that with Monster.
Right.
There's a lot of like prologue almost, and then they're like, here's the future and how that turned out.
Yeah. And a little bit like it's less stated, I think, with Pluto, where it's like you should just know, and I think part of that is that it's like kind of adaptation sequel.
Yeah, and he didn't work on that alone.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, treads in similar ground still, even like how the past comes back, in the present and the future and stuff like that.
It's an interesting style with this one, especially 20th Century Boys. Like we talked about, you just mentioned, there's scenes from their childhood and then scenes from the current day, and then there's always this. It does a lot of like, and then future, because I think it takes place in the 1990s, like before 2000, and then they keep skipping ahead to the scene in 2000 where clearly something's going wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Like everything's coming to a culmination of something horrible.
Right. Yeah. Also, that it's always so funny to me to recognize that, like, I always think of like, the 20th century is 1900 to 1999, and it's like, no, actually it's 1901 to 2000, which feels so off. Yeah, so it's always funny just to get that reminder, but yeah.
It's funny also that he started this in like 1997.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and ended it post the time when, the furthest future for his story,
Oh, that we know so far. I don't know.
Oh, do you think that this might continue?
No, I mean that like I don't think that it just ends at the 2000.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
But I also know that he made a series after this, like a really short, probably an epilogue. I don't know because I haven't read it, but it was called 20th Century Boys.
Or 21st Century Boys?
Yeah, 21st Century.
Okay. Just making sure I heard you right. Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, it's so interesting because I didn't know as much about Urasawa before we read Monster, and I've sort of gotten into like following him on social media, and he's so clearly also a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, where's the art? And he's like, here's another video of me playing the guitar.
Yeah. Man, that makes a lot of sense too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just in the way of like thinking again, it's hard to not bring up his other work that we've read. But in Pluto, you have the musician, is he blind? The pianist?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And how important music is to him.
Yeah. And then, so with this main character, Kenji, he's very appealing, I find. Like, his desire to take care of his niece, whose sister is abandoned. Mm-hmm. He's like, don't worry, she's gonna come back, she's gonna come back. So I did read the second volume after the first one, as I always love to do. A little bit more than we usually do.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how I think with a different artist / writer, I don't think I would trust them as much to do like the present time and the past and the present time and the past. Because it can feel a little disjointed. And even with this, I feel sometimes a little bit like, okay, and now we're in the past.
Yeah, because I mean, it requires some trust on your reader too, a little bit, to be able to put the pieces in place, be an active participant in creating the timeline.
And not feel like you're just going like, oh, but you didn't know this about them.
Yeah.
Feeling like there's a foundation while also revealing new things to keep it engaging. With Kenji, his immediate motivation seems to be to take care of his niece for his sister, who he claims is going to come back, and deal with their struggling family business, and just kind of have a normal life. And what it reveals later, more about how he has these other motivations that he's ignoring about like music and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's just really interesting. I think it's really well developed for a character.
Yeah.
Who can kind of just seem like a nobody.
No, for sure. Once they like put that element into the air, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that there was going to be more to Kenji, you know, but it really was an interesting angle to, you know, to even see that, like, after his father passed away, it was his sister, the responsible one, that was, like, going to take over the liquor store, but then she disappeared, you know, and so it was like, oh, I haven't really had to do anything responsible, but now I'm the only one, so I've got, you know, but you know, also you might expect if you started with a character from that point, like if it was linear and we were following Kenji from, you know, having no responsibility, you might expect that he would be like, well, not bad at it, but like he wouldn't have those values as easily either, you know, but he is like very committed to, well, now that I'm the only one, I have to support my family. So yeah, I think,
And I will say there's even more scenes later with like his sister that kind of explains his kind of lackadaisical nature, how she always took care of him,
yeah,
and how he sort of feels indebted to her after realizing that. And I mean, I guess you could say that like taking care of Kanna, his niece, has maybe made him realize that too to some extent. That's probably off screen though, mostly.
right, yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering now, because I read the Perfect Edition Volume 1, so I'm like, did I read actually more chapters than 10? Because I'm like, I definitely saw some things that I feel like you're hinting at, possibly.
Yeah, that's also this funny thing where I'm like, I don't know if you read that.
Yeah. But yeah. No, also, I think that Kanna is good just as, I mean, she's not a character because she doesn't really affect the story, but she's a good addition to Kenji's life.
Okay, but I totally feel like they're hinting at something with her. Do you get what they're hinting at with her?
Yeah, I mean, she's
Yeah, is the baby psychic?
I think so.
yeah, she's definitely psychic.
I don't know what it's going to mean, but it does seem that and the also psychic homeless person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah. Also, okay. Sorry, I had to just get to the table of contents for the volume I read, but I read up to chapter 21.
Oh my god, you read the same amount as me.
Okay. Cool.
Technically 2 volumes.
Yeah. Do you know how far you got, Jake?
Yeah, I got to the 20 as well.
Okay. Sweet. Okay. So we're all on the same page then.
Okay, so that means I could talk about the part that made me laugh so much with like the guy dying and asking for Kenji. You know, obviously he escaped from the cult.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, this is it, this idiot. Why does he look so dumb?
Yeah. And it's like he doesn't know anything about anything, you know? He's like, you're supposed to know the answer to this question. I don't remember what it is exactly that he says, but it takes him a second to like reflect on his past childhood memories, you know. But he's like sitting there like bleeding out, and he's just like, oh, come on, man, you're supposed to know.
I died for this.
Yeah.
Or I am dying for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's also interesting, you know, for as far as like a cult, how they won't take on a name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're just led by their by the leader that is only known as our friend or my friend. Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, he's doing a mystery, obviously. It seems really obvious that the answer is the character whose face they keep not showing.
Right. Yeah, at the very start, I did think that somehow, I didn't know who our friend was supposed to be, but I did think that it was Kenji that created the group at first, just because they weren't very clear on identifying the little kids, you know? And then they kept on being like, who did it? And I was like, I thought you established that. And then finally they reveal it in the flashback. It's just, you know, somebody that they hadn't said whose name was.
Okay, but I do think that, like, Kenji created the, like, childhood group.
No, I think that it's in the chapter that's about Ocho. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that, but or no, it's Acho. Yeah, chapter 12.
Ocho, yeah.
I believe that you know, Kenji might have been all like, "Hey, we should have we should have this fort and stuff," but it's Acho who creates like the tenets of what their group should be, basically, and creates the symbol. At least that's how I read it.
I don't know. I think it's like a mix, right? I mean, all the kids are collaborating on stuff, but Kenji's the one who seems really like, we're gonna save the world.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, every single call is like, we're gonna save the world.
Yeah. It is, you know.
When you said that you thought Kenji started, I thought you meant in like that there's going to be Fight Club as like the twist, but I guess it still could be. I haven't read all of it, but
yeah, I don't know.
I doubt that somehow.
Yeah, I doubt that too. And I see what you mean by Fight Club. At first I was like, huh? And I was like, right. Kenji is Acho. No.
Oh my god, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
No. I don't know, there's 22 volumes though, like there seems like there's a lot that's going to develop.
Yeah, no,
it seems like stuff is coming to a head already.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, because you wrote that it's 249 chapters, and we read 21 chapters. So it's like, you mean that there's 10 times more of this? Like, that feels impossible.
I do know. Sorry, not to interrupt you. At the very beginning, there's like an earthquake or something. And, like, they have that girl who, like, I don't know why they show her backside immediately.
Yeah.
And I just know that she's an important character because I've seen her on a cover.
Okay.
But she hasn't shown up for, like, 20 chapters.
Yeah. Which, I mean, also, that when I was, like, I read through the whole thing, and then I was, like, kind of skimming back through again. And so at that beginning point, I was like, oh, yeah, the big monster thing. I completely forgot.
Really? They love to show flashbacks to it.
Yeah, I think, well, I might have not.
Sorry, not flashbacks, flash forwards.
Right, yeah. I know what you mean. But I think that at the time I was skimming, I was maybe not all the way through. I'd maybe made it halfway, and then I skimmed, and then I went back and read the rest. But yeah, I mean, still though, for when you're reading the first few pages, you're like, oh yeah, that's really important, which it is. But then you're all like, I forgot about that completely. It's been a good number of chapters, and they didn't reference it at all. I mean, I think that it is the machine that they kind of keep referring to, but it doesn't look like a big glowing eye kaiju thing in the darkness when they show it like that. So
well, with the scene where the assassin is like flirting with that young girl, and she's like, yeah, my dad works in robotics. I'm like, oh my god,
wow, I don't think I recognized that.
And then so the fact that that's clearly got to be the girl and the professor whose family disappeared, that Kenji went to go pick up the bottles from. Right.
Actually, I did remember that, or notice that when I was reading. Yes. Yeah.
So it's interesting. There's a lot of... So it is a little bit confusing at times. But I also felt like, oh my god, they keep showing me this robot monster. I get it. It's gonna attack.
Yeah.
It is funny to hear that you're like, oh yeah, that thing. I forgot about it. And I'm like, I can't forget about it.
Yeah,
They're not
fair.
letting me forget about it.
Yeah. No, I think that there is, I like the amount of, like, kind of threads that get attached, but, you know, you have to be paying attention. Not necessarily the robot part, but, like, you know, just, like, even the things that are more obvious, though, like the mysterious virus that makes people, like, bleed to death. You know, that being something that is actually a chemical weapon that is being used to assassinate people. Yeah, and just, like, you know, how that, like, you know, seeing the connection before other people do between the different victims and all of that is it's interesting and fun to watch play out.
Yeah. And then we have psychics.
Yeah.
I can't get over Kanna.
No, yeah, Kanna is a psychic, and the
old man.
the old man, and there's also, like, cases of people bending spoons, and our friend levitating in front of people.
Well, levitating can be faked really easily, so I just thought I was just faking it.
Yeah, and I would have assumed that if there wasn't other stuff, you know. But who knows? Maybe he is faking it, and then there are other people that are that are actually psychic. It does remind me a little bit too of Domu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, the more we talk about it, the more I feel like 20th Century Boys is, like, reminding me of Akira a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something about the psychic kids part.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
Yeah, I
looking
can
too
kinda see
hard.
that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were influenced.
Those kids are psychic.
Yeah.
Many powers.
I liked the flashback where they first become friends with Donkey.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's very silly.
Mm-hmm.
It seems very much like how kids would be like, ah, gross, we're running away.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, right before they get into trouble, they're like, watch our bikes, he's gonna steal them. And it's like, where do you even get that from? Like, yeah, and then, yeah, he just saves them, and then they're friends for the rest of time after that.
Oh my god, I need to see the evil twins as adults.
Oh, yeah, I'm really interested to see that, too. Yeah.
And then, I guess, the girl.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So sometimes with the flashbacks, I'm like, okay, I've seen all the kids, and there's, like, more kids.
No, that's how I felt too. Like, you know, especially with Acho, I was like, oh, well, I'm just surprised you didn't mention him, you know? And I
mean, they did with the, like, they just never show his face half the time when they show him.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that, like earlier in the story, though, Kenji's trying to, like, remember everybody, and he's like, I just can't do it, you know? And there's a part of me that wants to, like, criticize him, and then there's also a part of me that's like, how good is your childhood memory, really, you know?
When they're trying to figure out, which of the other kids it could have been, they have, like, a flashback scene where they're all gathered together, and I was like, there is way more than, like, the people he's still talking to or the people he's mentioned. Like, there's so many kids drawn.
Yeah. Which may be more observant than I am on that. Yeah.
I want to figure out the mystery.
Yeah.
There's an interesting theme of rock and roll in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or just, like, you know, music in general, but rock and roll specifically to, you know, I guess, so they're kids in the 1970s, now it's the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 20th Century Boys is a track. I'm trying to remember now.
T-Rex.
T-Rex, thank you. Yeah. It's a
British band, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so, yeah, that's kind of part of the inspiration a little bit. But yeah, very, very rock and roll focused. And I also, like, I kept kind of like coming back to it a little bit, but I feel like it hasn't, the idea has not blossomed yet in 20 chapters fully. But I'm waiting for it to. I believe it had to have been Kenji, but at the same time we don't know who. But when they were kids, somebody tied up the person that was in charge of the intercom, the student that was in charge of the intercom.
The radio DJ kid.
Yeah, the radio DJ. Because
he's like, stop playing this dumb music.
Yeah, playing classical music, Mozart and stuff, because that was what was allowed, and also normal, I guess. But yeah, he basically took over the intercom to play rock and roll music, and he said, I thought something would change, but the kids notice, it's different music, and then they go back to playing and working and, doing what they were doing. It's like, and there's definitely things that I'm like, I see how this is, related to seeds that are developing, but I haven't seen it fully come out yet.
I can't articulate it fully either.
Yeah.
It hasn't fully bloomed.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, like my perfunctory thoughts are like, well, that's, also cult mentality too. I'm going to create giant change, that I'm going to fix the world's problems. And then it's like, oh, I'm just doing what was done, Nobody noticed that I did anything. I don't
know if it's a cult mentality, is it?
Well, maybe
cult mentality is it's what the predecessor to that, I would say.
Yeah, and really, I mean, cult leader mentality, maybe, but also at the same time, I as I say that, I'm disagreeing with myself because usually that's that would be very generous to a cult leader, I think, and yeah, I think that generally it is about amassing power, not really trying to help the downtrodden, really.
I mean, the cult in this book, I love that his friend straight up goes like, and we're gonna conquer the world.
Yeah. Yeah, very clearly.
What does that mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, killing your enemies and...
okay, but they're false prophets.
Right, yeah. Well, some
I do
of them
like
are,
the
but...
Sorry, I do like the seed, as you say, of how, these people learned under the same cult, and now they're branching off and making their own cults.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're beefing.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon in real cults as well.
Interesting.
Usually there will be like offshoots, especially when like the original leader or the founder dies. There are a lot
they
of
disagree.
groups that form after then.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean...
I had the idea, but I have it better than yours.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Come with me. I'll let you marry all the wives you want.
And
which is usually the breakdown.
Yeah. Also, I'm in crisis because the leader did not come back from the dead like he promised.
We just misinterpreted him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, I had a thought but I do not remember now. Yeah.
I mean, despite the, like, psychic stuff, it does feel like a very grounded story as far as, like, how characters react to things, and I kind of love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I think that it is very much, the mystery is interspersed with people just trying to figure out what it means to be an adult, like, one guy
Oh my
is
god, the policeman scene
Oh yeah.
where he
right.
talks about trying
Yes.
to. Sorry, this is related.
No,
Where
that's actually what I
the
wanted.
older policeman,
Yeah.
right? He's like retiring, but he's kind of following the scent of this cult more than anybody else, and so he's going to like the point where he goes back to the old elementary school they went to, and like talks to the elementary school teacher. And I love how as he goes through things, he's like, "Oh, this place has changed. Oh, this place has changed." And it's the same with when the friends try to find the bowling alley, and how they get to find like everything's changed, like nothing's the same.
Yeah.
And like, of course it is. Of course it's all changed. But also, when you're not looking, you kind of just expect it to stay the same.
Yeah. No, that is good.
That's where I really get the feeling of like, and then of course the big change being the year is going to be 2000. So there's, fear of change, perhaps.
Yeah, or at least like trying to wake people
Trying to be in
up.
control,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I know.
Yeah, like you said, Cody, with the person who was like, they played the rock and roll song, I do kind of expect that to be Ocho or whoever is actually friend. Whoever eventually was like, things aren't changing. I need them to change in a way I want them to change. I want to affect things.
Yeah.
They want to feel in control as an adult. When, you become an adult and realize, oh, adults don't have it all figured out. They're not as in control as I thought they'd be.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good assessment. I feel like that works.
I don't know though, like the whole thing, how they keep using the language from the spacewalk or landing on the moon.
Right, yeah. The the first manned mission. Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Yeah.
I don't know how that ties in though, other than just being like marketing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's about progress, I guess. And I mean, I think that there's something to be said for or at least if we take the angle that you were saying, Shawenta, that like it's somebody who's trying to affect the world and the future, but has been like kind of broken in some way by his expectations, that he basically reverts back to kind of a childlike thinking, where it's like, oh, I can just, because like, even in the flashbacks when they're like, they're talking about like, oh, the villains have it all good, and the other kid is all like, well, I'm going to fight evil, or whatever. And it's very clear that like, they just have like very uninformed childlike understanding of the world and what evil is and what good is, and stuff like that. So I think that it's clear that like our friend probably is still very much in that mode of thinking too.
Yeah, I do really like the scene where they're like, okay, how are we going to deal with nuclear bombs? We'll figure out when we're adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
All those fears of the future and the potential apocalypse and that.
Yeah. But also one person knowing that they're like, I'll control people with biological weapons. And you're like, ew. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, also to bring back up the old cop though, that was a good scene. I really enjoyed that, because it's so personable while we're getting like, it's kind of the update for people that maybe have not been piecing the puzzle pieces together yet, / also new information. but then also you're getting interspersed with it the guy being like, oh, well, I'm going to my grandson's birthday party, but I'm on bad terms with my daughter because I'm late to everything, like late to her wedding and didn't walk her down the aisle and late to, all of these other important events in her life.
Yeah, Urasawa is so good at like immediately being like, this is the character, this is what they're dealing with, their struggle, and then immediately being like, and it's not gonna get better.
Yeah. Because he's all like, he's like, it's not going to really matter, when I show up, because I'm expected to be late, basically. And then his daughter calls him and is like, show up on time, everything will be forgiven, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go do it. I have the present, I'm going to go. But then he gets assassinated by his partner, who is part of the cult before he can make it.
Yeah, the chance for redemption is just like dangled there and immediately taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story in general seems like, so it's so clearly like Urasawa's interest in music. I have a feeling that it's just going to get bigger and bigger as part of the story. And also what you said about like biological weapons. Didn't the sarin attacks happen in Japan in the 1990s?
Oh.
Yes, and that was also by a cult.
Cult, yes.
Okay.
Which I looked up because I thought like maybe the symbol might be the symbol used in the book might be like a copy of that, because that was originally supposed to be a at the turn of the millennium attack, and they moved it forward a couple of years because always have to be ramping up in a cult. So the original timeline can't be the timeline anymore. But I didn't find any connections like that.
I feel like that'd be too on the nose if he did that.
It'd be a bit much. You're right.
It'd be a little tasteless.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine to reference a little bit scary things happening in the world like that, and nuclear armament and stuff like that, but to actually, yeah, that would be a lot. But yeah, I think that you're right, Shuenta, that yeah, we'll definitely see more stuff come to life or to light with music influence. I think also and I think this is what I was going to say as far as the biological weapons. I think also that the psychic and / telekinetic powers, I feel like that might be, a part of not only is the world changing, but humanity is changing too, and so it's basically a biological defense mechanism, to this created problem. We're going to create humans, well, not we, but evolution is going to create humans that can withstand these problems that, we've created.
Oh, no. I feel like you may be too X-Men pilled.
I might be too X-Men pilled. That's true. I can believe that. But I don't know, why else do these people have these powers? Is it magic? Is it,
It's just something that happens every once in a while. I mean, just as far as there's Kanna, and then there's the old guy. And the old guy's been around for a long time now. I mean, he's old.
Right.
But I don't know if it's going to be a new occurrence.
Yeah. And I also, though, there's something to be said, too, for, but maybe you'll disagree with me here. When they go to their friend's wedding, the one that they always called Frog, or referenced him as a frog.
Yes.
Yeah, he when he comes out with his bride or bride to be, they see him as a literal frog at first, and then like kind of shake out their eyes, and then they see him normally again. And I don't know if that was meant to be part of like kind of the supernaturalness of it. At least that's how it said to me, because people don't generally have shared hallucinations.
I see. I just thought it was a sight gag.
Which maybe.
It was almost like the cover chapter page, I think.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It is really funny, though. He's like, you guys gotta find some cuties, too.
Yeah.
And they're both so suited for each other.
But yeah, I wondered, though, if that was like they actually saw that and like reality changed a little bit, or if, yeah, it's just a sight gag and we're not supposed to think anything deeper from it.
There's not a ton of sight gags, to be fair, so I can see your like confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we should talk about the art in general, too.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it's Urasawa.
It was. Everybody looked like people. You know what I mean?
Sometimes that's hard.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say too, Urasawa definitely has like face shapes that he likes to return to. Like now that I've
Sure,
read,
especially with the girls.
yeah, but also with the guys. Like
He likes a good big nose too.
yes, he loves a big nose. Yeah, like there's just people where I was like, I've seen you before. You're a different person, but I've seen you before for sure.
I do remember some of the pages where the twins are getting beat up. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeously drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're just like writhing in pain.
Yeah. And yeah, there's just lots of instances where it's all like, wow, that is so detailed, it's so detail oriented. Like, you can just pick out a random panel. It's like, why'd you go through the trouble? But I mean, it looks great. I'm not saying don't, but just like, I'm surprised,
Yeah, when he goes for movement, it can look really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just in general, I think his characters are very charming to look at. Like all the homeless people
Mm-hmm.
are very like, someone's in my house, and they're all like poking sticks at the guy.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I think that yeah, he's great at character design too. Like, yeah, each person is so like recognizable. I'm never like, oh, I kind of got that way with the kids, but just because there was so many of them, and I quickly did understand who was who.
And it also, yeah, I agree. I think Jake did say he had a little trouble with the kids earlier, like telling who was who.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it also is because we get such short scenes with them, and then it switches back to them being adults, and we don't see all of them as adults.
Right.
So I'm like, but it was fun in some ways, where I was like, oh, that's Kenji, because they're like the lips and this and that, and like the little details like that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Pick out.
Definitely. Like it is like looking at somebody's yearbook photos that you didn't know as a kid, You're like, and having to like pick people out. It's like, oh, I see you now. Like, I get it. Yeah. Definitely keeps like features, but also like, it's not like it's not a George Lopezism where like putting the adult head on the kid's body.
Oh god. In general, he's just like, he's a master of black and white to me.
Mm-hmm.
Grayscale. I don't think I'd like the book more if it was in color.
Yeah, well, in the perfect edition too, there are certain pages that are colored.
He likes to do the little watercolor opening pages.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's not every chapter that gets color in the first few pages, but some of them, and then also when they go through what was it? It was one of them was the adult magazine, and the other one was the I think it's a manga that they're writing about all of the disasters that happen.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah. Which I guess that is also the start of the chapter. So I guess it is the opening chapters, but it felt different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the watercolor wasn't too distracting.
No.
It seemed nice with the art.
Yeah, I liked it. And do you think he does that himself, or?
Yeah, I've watched him. Well, I've seen him do it for other books. I assume he did it also for this one.
And I kind of assumed too that it would have been credited. I just know sometimes in manga things go uncredited with assistants and such. But yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I think he did a good job with those. I don't think that, though, I agree that his black and whites are just so detailed that the color would probably distract if it was throughout the whole story. And generally, you know, I think a lot of comic art that's hand drawn, at least, ends up being better, I guess, in black and white. I say that hesitantly, you know, because it's like better is so effusive, but
It seems very effective.
yes, yeah.
I will say, looking back at these pages, I love Kanna so much.
Yeah.
Every time her little face is peeking over the side.
Yeah,
where she's watching him.
and her reactions remind me of like Kirby, the video game character.
Oh,
Just
see, I normally like hate when babies are in stories because I'm like, I get it, they're cute. You're trying to buy me over with this, but she's so cute.
she is really cute, which is a testament both to the art and like writing too. That is like, wow, it's not like it's a baby that can talk, you know. It's just reactions. It's just acting, you know. Yeah, and
She got great little cheeks.
yeah, and I think actually, I'm really glad that I got onto that thought train because I think that Urasawa gives like really great acting to his characters.
For sure. I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that I'm like, yeah, this really stood out, you know. And I mean, I don't think that there was anything in particular that I was really unhappy with either, you know.
One of the things I like that has been mentioned is how the framing of some of the shots, for lack of a better term, is done. Like when they're talking about where they're just talking about where Ocho went to go get like trained as like a guru, sort of. Mm-hmm. And they're just talking about like he said he was going to Tibet, and it's like his face is in shadow, and he's turned, and it's like such a
so intense.
Yeah, it's for something that shouldn't matter that much. It's just somebody staying where they're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love that shot. Mm-hmm. I think they give it a full page to really give it weight too.
Yeah, they do. Also, when Donkey goes to the school at night and like,
oh my god, I want to know what he saw.
Yeah, me too. And like, yeah, just with what Jake was saying though, like the use of like camera angles in panel, you know, it gets like closer and closer and closer on Donkey, and like, you know, and then it starts to do a Dutch angle. It skews the perspective to the
very
right.
Horror-like.
Yeah, very horror, making you more and more nervous about somebody or something. And then like a few pages later, the big like increasing close up on Donkey's face, like in horror. Yeah.
Really good build up, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Good book.
Good book. Yeah.
Okay, we do have to talk about the theme. The theme of cults.
Yes, we will.
How does this comic portray a cult or cults?
Yeah. So, I mean, part of it is that, like we kind of said, there's still so much mystery around this unnamed cult, you know?
I think there's some good sense of, like, okay, I was going to say, like, Japanese bureaucracy in terms of the cult.
Mm-hmm.
but it's not necessarily Japanese. It's just bureaucracy in general. How like they, the people who are trying to stop, specifically the friend cult, are like, you know, the lawyers. They know where they gather. Like they're renting a specific spot, but like they still can't like just barge in and hear about their murder plans.
Right, yeah. There is, yeah, just that general aspect of, like, even institutions that maybe are very clearly wrong still have some level of, like, rights and protections, you know, that, like, you have to move slowly in order to get justice. Yeah.
Yeah. The untouchability feels, it's very frustrating and it feels real.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit of like, as we've talked about, the mysticism.
Yeah.
Like, how are they getting these viruses around if they're the ones doing the biological weapon stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, yeah, there is question too of like, you know, because like the police are like suddenly worried that they've been infected by the virus when they come across it. But it's like, oh, okay, so it's a virus that's not airborne, not totally out of like possibility. There are viruses that aren't airborne, but yeah, just interesting. They'd just be one that you just like, you know, can only be via injection.
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's beyond the question that we're trying to answer. I got distracted by thinking about this virus. But yeah.
Yeah, there's still a lot of mystery around the cult, so we're not quite sure. But, okay, we did touch on, like, the portrayal of, like, the multiple cults. Like,
yeah.
It was really easy for that guy to stab that other cult guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that also, actually, I'm generating some more thoughts on this. I think that it does feel realistic to what I know about how you start to convince people to take on more intense asks, you know, because it's like, yeah, basically they just start meeting together, start feeling like they're cared for, that they're a community, you know, that they're friends. Everybody here's friends. And then, yeah, like you don't ever see it, but what I've been, my understanding from what I've heard on the internet basically is that, you know, it does start with asking people to do small tasks, you know, very repeatedly, like yes, like get them used to saying yes to you basically. And so while we don't see that in the text, I think that just the fact that it's like very well, for lack of a better word, friendly environment, it makes sense that, like, you know, you suddenly get people that are willing to, you know, stab somebody, willing to inject them with a virus, you know, people that they've known for years and trust them. Yeah, getting the lies into their head that those people are enemies of, you know, and that they're not really your friends, that we are your friends, we being the cult.
Well, it's interesting with specifically the lawyers who are trying to go after the cult, and they're representing the families of like young people who've joined the cult. So with the friend cult, that made me assume that it was all young people.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see sort of the like, he's a little bit older, I would say, the policeman who does kill the soon-to-be retiring policeman.
Yeah, he should be in his like 30s probably, is the vibe I got.
So I'm like, oh, it's not just young people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's a very wide-ranging reach he's getting.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, I guess, that like, some parents, if he started with young people, which it seems like, you have the college students that were on the softball team and who they're like, yeah, we just used these shirts because this one guy that was part of the team had a bunch of them and made us buy them.
He forced us to buy them.
Forced us to buy them. So like, I could see, maybe family members like gravitating in rather than against too. I don't know if that's common though in cults or how that.
You see the daily life of the one guy who ended up stabbing the opposing cult leader.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And you see him doing like his whole life revolves around things he's been given to do.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what you were saying, Cody. Like it's permeated every aspect of his life.
Yeah.
Even his room, like you see some other posters there, but once you see him like with the CD from his cult, the healing music. Oh yeah, the portrayal of it, as like healing, as fixing you, as helping you.
Yeah.
Like you said, Cody, a very friendly atmosphere. Even the way they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Way where they're like, oh, didn't you hear? He's gonna levitate today. They're just all in awe and excitement. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Even when he tells you he's gonna, conquer the world. Oh yeah. Preemptively, or not preemptively, but before he says I'm gonna conquer the world, the whole scene of them talking about, or them guessing what the point of the cult is. Like they don't even know.
Yeah.
But they're just sort of spitballing. And they're like, to be a friend to everybody. Like all these little pleasant goals.
Yeah. And also something that you made me remember is just that like, yeah, because with the guy that's so entrenched in this cult now and kills the other cult leader, it's people that are enticed by like an easy answer to either their personal problems or the problems in the world at large. Because the guy, I almost want to call him a kid, because I mean he's like in his 20s or something.
He keeps yelling at his mom.
Yeah, he keeps yelling at his mom, and he keeps being all like, I don't even want people who can't understand to understand, like just really ready to have enemies, basically, to be so annoyed with people that just don't understand him, that angstiness. Yeah. And I think that's, I feel like that is because really though, that guy, what he's craving is structure, something to do, to be told what to do every day at every minute, it's like, okay, well, I gotta listen to my music and do my my stretches, and then his
healing exercises he was trying to do.
Yeah. Exactly. And also it will fix what I feel like is wrong with me. That's the other key part, and it goes into the part that you said about like health too, because it's not just about like having a friendly atmosphere, but it attracts people who feel like something is wrong with them too, and have self-conscious.
Or with the world too.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, and that, yeah, things wrong with themselves or with the world at large. But yeah, so it's like, basically like, okay, this is going to be the magic thing that makes me feel like a person, or maybe they have like an actual underlying health issue, it's like, oh, I'll just, take these essential oils and they'll
getting back in control of your life.
Yeah, I'll get back in control of my life. Exactly.
And then outwardly, what is it? If I kill this other cult leader, that's me, making the world a better place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, isn't that what most violence is trying to, feel a sense of control over, over your world and your life. So it is a natural extension of that too.
What an insidious cult. I can't believe that they got this far without him saying, like, what the purpose of joining is.
Yeah.
Well, you see that a lot too. You have to, and that's part of why there is some information you don't tell people because you want to make sure, especially if it's something kind of silly, you can't have people get exposed to that, realize that they've wasted however long of their life, and then expose that to the media and the public. It's bad image problem.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Scientology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I feel like I'm learning so much about cults. Yeah.
Well, only the first week, so we got so much more to learn.
I know. Yeah. I'm interested to see where it goes and what comes up. Yeah. I feel like I want to do like more research for the next episode, basically. But yeah, is there any more thoughts about like how this book portrays cults, or any tangential to that thoughts?
I think I would have liked to see more with the victim support group that is kind of mentioned. Because that's usually how a lot of cults end, is enough people, enough family members get together and, like, even, usually the people are adults, so there's only so much you can do if they haven't committed any crimes, but having those resources available and the families there, so that if they do come out and know about crimes or anything like that, there's a way of getting those to legal resources.
Right. Yeah.
I think that this is just going to become a little bit more mysticism. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. I do feel like it'll get a little bit beyond what's typically happens, because like I do think that they will show more of that support group, because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Probably as they're trying to delve into the mystery of how these kids joined too.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've already revealed, like, oh, we have a police officer who's in the cult. Like, how did they get him?
Yeah.
They're just gonna have more and more people who are like part of this system who are actually part of the cult, I feel like.
Yeah, probably.
That's why you can't stop them the normal way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like it makes me think of like the Daredevil TV show, where it's like realizing that the police are in on the the organized crime and stuff like that. Like it's like, oh yeah, you can't do anything through like proper channels. Yeah. No, I do agree with you, Jake. I am interested to see more of that support group. I also agree with you, Shawenta, that I'm sure that they probably will. Or at the very least we'll see individuals from the group, that have key information to the mystery too. Yeah. I think that'll be interesting. All right. So, it's just about time to wrap up this episode, but before that, what are we most curious about as the story continues?
I want to see the robot.
Okay.
I look like the Iron Giant, probably.
A little bit. Okay.
I really am really curious about his sister. Kenji's sister specifically. Obviously, I want to see more Kanna. And also just like the homeless guy, I guess. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that what I want to see more as the story continues is I think I want to be a little bit vindicated about like what the purpose of like having psychic and telekinetic people are. Or I could see it going multiple directions, and one of those directions could also be that like there's some power to like collective belief too. I could see that being like an element to the story.
The only way to fight a cult is with another cult.
Yeah, or, like just having a powerful belief in yourself too. Like, I mean, that sounds like really corny, and I don't think that that's how it would go, but like just like, yeah, manifesting something. I mean, even like in that same way, the homeless guy that could see the future, maybe he just predicted something a couple of times on accident, and then suddenly everybody started believing that about him, and then suddenly he could actually predict the future, And,
Sounds like you want really grounded psychics.
well, I mean, I don't know if that's so grounded. Having it be about the power of belief is a little bit it's not exactly like you said, or you were claiming, the, I guess, like I said, the genetic mutants, it's a little bit more like ephemeral, I guess. But I think that, there's at least background for that, in the same way with Kanna, because like the I don't know who it was. It was just somebody in the shop, or was it a nanny? I don't know who she was, but she was like, pick the right hand for the treat,
Oh yeah, she's got it 10 out of 10 times.
She's gotten it 10 out of 10 times, it's like, oh, well, that's an easy, you can flip a coin and get heads multiple times, but it's still 50-50 odds, and so same with two hands, it's pretty easy to get something over and over again just on accident. But if you start believing that, the kid is special, you might come out with a special kid.
I don't know if Kenji believes it though.
Yeah, I don't know either, but yeah, I don't know, but maybe the grandma does. I could see that.
I should say more specifically for what I want to see more of, because I don't know, I just want to see the story in general, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think Kenji and the whole through line, the one girl that they've reconnected with, the tomboy, who obviously liked Kenji when they were little, just her being like, oh, you gave up guitar. Oh, you're kind of giving up on who you wanted to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot there that I cannot wait to see more of. Like, how are they going to develop that? And what the heck is it going to have to do with taking down a cult?
Yeah. No. Yeah, and I feel like too, there's like there's a lot of stories in creative fields in general that are like that, but like I feel like I've heard multiple mangaka biographies that were all like, well, my parents said that doing manga was stupid, and then so I became a doctor in this field, or I was a professional in this field, but then I realized that I really still liked manga and I liked drawing, so I just said whatever and committed myself to manga, and now I'm a super successful manga artist. So yeah, I can definitely not knowing Naoki Urasawa's biography by heart at all, I could definitely see that kind of potentially being relevant. Not, just like having a lot of people even in your field, not initially following their dreams because it's, not as respected of a profession, and then going after it later.
Well, specifically about music, I know he's released like at least 2 albums, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So I think all Kenji needs to do is change the world through the power of music.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's a great way to get a belief across, I guess, too, if my theory's right. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so I guess to wrap that up a little bit, I do hope to see Kenji kind of redevelop his sense of self, I guess, and what he wants from his life.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. That is all we have for our episode today. This has been our review of 20th Century Boys by Naoki Urasawa. If you like this episode, be sure to follow us on Twitter at TheComicPanel1 and listen to more of us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also check out our episodes on Monster and Pluto if you want to check out more coverage of Naoki Urasawa. And on those podcast platforms, our title is The Comic Panel Podcast. You can also listen to us on KSUARadio.com or 91.5 FM in Fairbanks, Alaska. Be sure to tune in 2 weeks from now for our next comic book around the theme of cults. I'm Cody.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Shawenta.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.